Welcome to another interesting weekend of international rugby. Stay tuned. First up, we've got Wales against South Africa, a vulnerable South African side and a Wales side which is not full of confidence. The Welsh this year, November series, not doing too well, confidence is not that high, losing against Australia quite convincingly and then narrow wins against Argentina and Japan. While they're going up against the South African side, which is quite the same, lost to England, had a draw against the Barbarians, lost against Italy of all teams. If Wales is looking to beat South Africa, this weekend will be the chance. For South Africa, on the other hand, Coetzee has made 6 changes, one of them being Rowan Jansen van Rensburg. What a big change. I think that's the correct option. There's other few picks as well which are good, and I would like to see this team perform tomorrow, but still very young team. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we can pull off a win. This is also a very important game for both teams, as South Africa will try and stay in 5th place on the world rankings, because next year in May is a draw for the Rugby World Cup 2019, and South Africa won't be playing any games before that. Wales will also be looking to increase their rank. They're ranked 6th in the world at the moment, and they still have the Six Nations in 2017 to increase their ranking for the draw. Player to watch, as I said, Rowan van Rensburg will be South Africa's player to watch. He had a good year with the Lions. He showed a really good game against the Barbarians, scoring the try that drew the game. For Wales, we'll need to watch George North. He's up against Jambo Ulengu, who was really inexperienced his first test match. Not to take everything away from him, but George North is so experienced and a really good player from Wales. I'm also excited to see the Lions pairing the Springboks squad from 8 to 12. It's Warren Whiteley, Faf de Klerk, Elton Jantjies and Ron Jansen van Rensburg. I think those few players will work well together. Ireland against Australia, very important match for both teams, as Ireland will try and be the first Northern Hemisphere team to take victories against the powerhouses from Southern Hemisphere, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia. Ireland beating South Africa earlier the year in Cape Town, Newlands, and earlier this month in Chicago. They'll now be looking to take a win against Australia. Australia also on their final game for the year. They'll also be looking to finish with the Grand Slam. They've won all their games in this November internationals. Ireland losing the first choice fly half and inside centre, Johnny Sexton and Robbie Henshaw, will be replaced by Paddy Jackson and Gary Ringrose. Paddy Jackson showed earlier this year against South Africa that he can play Test rugby. And Gary Ringrose, there's a lot of things expected from this guy. But with the Wallabies on an upcurve, Michael Chika has brought back Dean Mumm. He feels that Dean Mumm will be instrumental in the lineouts against Ireland this weekend. A player to watch for Ireland this weekend will be Conor Murray, the scrum off. He links well with the backline, he links well with the forwards, and he likes to take runs from the ruck. The man to watch for Australia will be the ever elusive Israel Folau. He hasn't scored a try in 8 matches, but he's still a line breaker and a good playmaker. A head-to-head to watch for this match will be Stephen Moore against Rory Best, as Rory Best runs on for his 100th game for Ireland. Well done. France against the All Blacks. The French will be aiming for their first win at home in 16 years against the All Blacks in Stade de France this weekend. They will try and get back at the All Blacks for the humiliating loss they gave them in the World Cup. Despite the injuries to the All Blacks, Steve Hansen still picked the best side for this game. And even if you pick the reserves, the All Blacks will always be good. France making 3 changes, Scott Spedding being one of them, and I thought he had a really good match last weekend. But for the All Blacks, the French is one of the most unpredictable teams in the world. They can beat anyone on any day, and they can also lose to anyone on any day. Player to watch for New Zealand is Anton Leonard-Brown and Beauden Barrett, as both of them are playing really good rugby. Also, the French backline has been looking really good. If they can get the ball wide, get into a gap, a try would be on. England against Argentina tomorrow at Twickenham. England looking to continue their winning streak. Argentina looking for one win. They've had a bit of a bad run for the November series. Argentina will be looking to take the win this weekend after losing to Wales, losing to Scotland. But England, coming from good victories against South Africa and Fiji. Argentina expect Hernandez on fly-off this weekend. He's really experienced. He's 34 years old, and I think a lot will be expected from him in tomorrow's match. For England, I think they're running a really good backline with George Ford fly-off, Owen Farrell inside centre. It just seems to work quite well. Tomorrow's rugby, again, is going to be wonderful to watch. Big matches coming up, very important for some teams. And I think if we look at scores, Wales, I think, will beat South Africa between 5 to 10 points. Ireland will beat Australia, also 5 to 10 points. England will brush aside Argentina, maybe taking 10 plus points. And New Zealand, France, well, if the French come up with their unpredictability, they can maybe win it. Or else, I think the All Blacks will run away with about 15 points. That is it from me. Enjoy the rugby, enjoy the weekend, and remember to subscribe to my channel.